Hi guys, welcome to the show. I'm Manny.
I'm Art.
And today we're actually going to talk a little bit about the San Diego Comic-Con that just happened last week. Absolutely freaking amazing. I am absolutely jealous.
Yes.
Of San Diego. And why do they get all the good shit?
They get everything.
They get everything. California gets freaking everything.
Except, high taxes and earthquakes.
So you said that
and flames.
So you said the San Diego Comic-Con is like the Coachella of pop culture?
It's a pop culture. It's the Coachella of pop culture.
And the Alamo City Comic-Con is what?
Like
the Traders Village?
Yeah, Traders Village.
Flea market.
The flea market. The Morrison flea market downtown.
For our good buddies at the Alamo City Comic Con, we actually love you. We're just kidding around. All right. Anyway, so let's talk about the San Diego Comic Con. First of all, a lot of great stuff coming out. A lot of great stuff.
Every year, it's on my bucket list, right? And I hate to say bucket list because it's been used so much, but it's one of the things I'd love to.
I don't blame you. It's a freaking
I'd love to take out some of my money on my 401k just to finance, room. This is so expensive to go every year.
Yep.
But they get so much. It's so exciting to see all the new stuff get out. Plus, you're surrounded by all the fans that you love. You're just one of the fans. You're surrounded amongst everybody who loves the same thing you do.
Great cosplayers.
Oh my God, cosplayers are everywhere.
Great costumes. Amazing. Well, let's get into it. Trailers. The trailers was one of the biggest things that the fans got excited about. One in particular, but we'll get to that later. First one, Thor 3, Thor Ragnarok, the brand new trailer for Thor Ragnarok. Absolutely freaking awesome.
Yes. There's so much that they started giving away. At first, you had no idea what Ragnarok was going to be about. We had a conversation earlier where I was thinking maybe it was going to be a clone, but if it wasn't for Terrence clearing up for things for me, thank you, Terrence. We love you. We miss you. Come back.
It had some pretty good action scenes in that movie. Kate Blanchett looks really menacing.
Yes.
In her villain role, and good to see Tom Hiddleston back as Loki.
You know what? Underutilized. I wish they used him more. I love his character, and I love how his acting.
I think this looks like a buddy movie with the Hulk. Sporting a new haircut. What's that?
Yeah. Well, both of them are sporting.
Both of them are sporting new haircuts.
Yeah, the short hair's in.
Hulk. I haven't seen hair since '97, so I can't. I can't say anything. Anyway, but Hulk being able to talk, that kind of threw me off a little bit. I'm not into Hulk talking.
Well, there's different lines. There's different lines of thought. As far as a buddy movie, I don't know. I think maybe they're adding a little bit of comedy. They're trying to lighten things up. Planet or World War Hulk or Planet Hulk really was a very dark. There was just a lot of fighting going on.
And the armor is reminiscent of all the stuff from Planet Hulk.
So maybe they're just trying to lighten things up a bit. Especially because I love how this is setting up for Infinity Wars.
And that's exactly what I think is going to pretty much happen. When you actually see some of those battles in space, it's probably going to be where Thor gets, where Infinity War will actually start off.
Yes.
Who knows? Currently, right now, director Takai Waititi, I hope I said that Waititi, that's funny. I hope that let me say that again. Director Taika Waititi.
Konnichiwa.
Mr. Whitey. Mr. Whitey is currently saying that, or actually revealed that Thor is actually going to be the shortest of all of the Marvel movies, clocking in runtime at 100 minutes.
He's been like the underserved of all the superheroes, the god, the protector of Earth, the god of thunder and lightning over here, and he's like the most underutilized superhero that we have.
Well, one of the good things about having it at 100 minutes, from what he was saying, is that they're going to pretty much it's going to be more action packed.
I hope so.
So that regardless of Civil War and Avengers Ultron, the Avengers, which is actually the highest grossing of all the MCU, those run times were ridiculous. I think Civil War's the longest at 147, I want to say. So that's it's like exhausting. Well, the same kind of that exhausting feeling that Thor's going to be is actually going to be in a good way at 100 minutes. Not too bad. So, what do you think about that?
I kind of like that. There's been a trend to make really long movies, and it's just at certain times after Transformers, you're just sitting there thinking you're in a 4-hour film. How long it felt, and there's just a certain trend with all these movies going on. I kind of like a small, short, compact film. Hopefully they can pull it off and throw as much action in there. That's what the comic book was about. The comic book was all action. It was about him being sent to another planet and just throwing it down with other, powerful creatures.
I think the tie to Avengers is actually going to make it that much more exciting because everybody knows that pretty much this is it. After this is Black Panther and then Avengers. So that's going to be an exciting part of that.
140 minutes. You still got 20 minutes of credits. We got to sit through and watch out.
Exactly.
No, you know what? I do not want any more post-credit scenes, please.
Currently, right now, The Incredible Hulk starring Edward Norton is actually the shortest at 112. So this will actually be shorter than that.
And that is one of my top favorites, too.
I thought Edward Norton was great, but I definitely like Ruffalo as Hulk better.
I'm not saying so much him. I just love the entire film itself. It was a complete package of a superhero movie that can stand alone.
It was also released Marvel released that Captain Marvel is going to be set in the 90s with Brie Larson, as she will not make an appearance from the looks of it in Infinity War. She might come out in Avengers 4, but probably will not come out in Infinity War. A two-eyed Nick Fury will be in it. So you got Sam Jackson with two. So Sam Jackson, 2 eyes and leather. So he's basically Shaft.
Can we give him a girly? Can we give him a Jerry Curl wig?
Wait.
Yeah, Jerry Curl will call him Jules.
This is set place in the 90s, so it's 20, almost 30 years earlier, right?
Pretty much, yes.
Wait, it's set place in the 90s when Pulp Fiction came out.
Yeah. Is he going to have the mutton chops and the curly hair?
Is he going to pass by Jules as he's walking Earth?
So here's the thing, though. Are they going to get somebody else to play Nick Fury, or is...
It will be Sam Jackson.
Man,
They're de-aging process.
De-aging process.
Yes.
Hopefully they don't get sued this time.
Well, hopefully they play it out. I like the fact that this is being set in another era. And, it doesn't necessarily all be tied together. I like something similar to Wonder Woman, who was set back in a later time period. The same thing with Captain America. I like this because it gives you all new characters, all new world, a universe that you can pretty much do whatever, and those may have slight influences to what's currently happening now.
Yeah.
Right. So there could be Easter eggs in some of the movies, and they could explore that in the earlier 90s movie.
Marvel's pretty much on point with all the stuff that they're going to do to set up Infinity War, which we'll actually get to that in a little while. DC was not too shabby themselves, showing displaying the newest trailer for Justice League. 4-minute trailer.
I'm excited for that movie.
That movie looks pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah. It's one that I feel that they're really building up, and I'm just so excited to see how they're going to bring all these characters in, and just a big climate. I love Marvel. I love how it was, but it's 20 or 15 plus years now in the making
to get to the gauntlet?
To get to Infinity Wars, and we're still not even there yet, right? We're still waiting for that to be released. 2 more, yeah. Marvel in a short amount of time DC has built it in a short amount of time. All right, now you're excited for the same film. I like that there's a little more continuity, and there's characters, at this point, some of these characters are old if you think about it, yet they're still playing these young actors.
But why though? Why do you think that it works for DC to actually jump into an Avengers style movie without having any kind of build up towards characters and origin stories and all that stuff? Especially when you got Wonder Woman, that was pretty much a prequel to everything that's happened before Man of Steel, that happened before BVS, to kind of go a little backwards with that movie but find the most success out of it, and then tie in Suicide Squad and all that in it. Why do you think Marvel or why do you think DC is going this route? Obviously to get away from Marvel, but why would it be as exciting though to do it, to jumpstart it right then and there without any real build-up?
I'm glad you asked. I'll give you 2 answers of what I think are some of the reasons why fans are excited for it. One is that there's not that long waiting period, right? These are things you leave these movies, oh man, I can't wait for this next one. And you're not waiting 2 to 3 years between films to see what else happens. The other thing I feel is still carried with that is that wave of excitement, but the continuity is much stronger. It's there. You're not having to remember what happened in this one. You're not having to recall these old characters here. They're just bringing in the star. And a lot of times we don't need a backstory. We don't need an in-depth backstory to some of these characters because we already know their backstory. In our minds, we already have how they already created, how they came to be. You know, the strong build. We didn't have one for Batman. Right.
We did not. We did have.
It wasn't in depth. It was brief.
Wonder Woman and Superman are the only two so far that have had those kind of origin stories. If you want to call Suicide Squad an origin story for the villains,
not really, because it was
how they were brought together.
Yeah, that's about it. But we really didn't have to get an in-depth. We just really already dove into those characters, and we went on with that. Yes, Batman vs. Superman, BVS was not a strong film, per se, but...
It was 8 minutes. The fight was 8 minutes long.
Yeah, but the build-up to it, there was still the excitement. I guarantee you, when Justice League comes out, people are still going to be lined up to see it because there's so much excitement behind it. You're not waiting 2, 3, 4, 5 years between films.
Or maybe they're going, it's the origin story of the Justice League.
Yeah.
And from that point forward, then the Justice League will go on their adventures together as a group, and meanwhile, in the earth. Anyway, at the end when he's talking, when J.K. Simmons is talking to that figure, is that Superman?
It has to be Superman. I can't think of anybody else.
I see red. If you really look close,
there's
you
a
see
hint.
red.
There's a hint
right
of red. And he doesn't act shocked. He doesn't act startled, as in like, oh, I'm gonna, threatened. He doesn't appear threatened. He seems more like casual, like, okay, we've been waiting for you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so, man, Justice League without Superman is it's not complete.
Yeah,
I can go without the Green Lantern, and there's hints that there's a reference to the lanterns in the trailer, but man, Justice League without Superman, that's like he's the
cornflakes with milk.
He's the consciousness. He's Captain America to the Avengers. Superman is to Justice League.
Very true. Very true. Well, I cannot freaking wait because that trailer looks really good. I still have Jason Momoa as being the freaking scene stealer. I have Aquaman being Roman Reigns. I have him being the scene stealer in that freaking movie. Seriously, take your shot.
What are all these powers with no water in Justice League? I don't get that.
Yeah.
We don't know. That's more exciting.
Who do you got your scene stealer to be? I think Ezra Miller is the Flash. I think he's trying too hard.
The moment Wonder Woman's on the screen, my attention is focused on her. So.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sorry, agree with you on that. I can't get Justin Long out of my head when I think of Ezra Miller.
He does.
He resembles him too damn much. I can't get freaking. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to hold the big girl cheerleader and dodgeball and fall down. All right, so I don't know. Either way, can't wait. Justice League trailer. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's absolutely freaking amazing. Another one that actually has me pumped up, man, it's freaking awesome, is Ready Player One. Steven Spielberg going back to his roots in a lot of ways when it comes to that kind of fantasy action adventure type that pretty much made him, famous, really.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was Jaws, but whatever. Anyway, but regardless, it's exciting. Steven Spielberg.
Well, you don't know if you're going to be able to be Jaws. Maybe you will.
Maybe
he's
maybe you will. There's a water level.
Yeah.
There's a water level in there. Regardless, you're gonna have. I mean, for you guys, especially the 80s, the ones that grew up in the 80s. There's so much pop culture references inside this movie. Even in the 90s, actually, there's so many pop culture references in this movie that are gonna just make you geek out completely. Watching the trailer, absolutely amazing.
I was excited to see Gamer when it first came out because of the concept. Right?
Running Man, got it.
So this is taking it to the next level. This is where we're now seeing, when you play video games and it's an unlockable character, and I want to play this guy. I want to play this guy, or I'm going to play this guy. So that's kind of cool. It's something different, and the fact that he's using all these old school ones that really set him is kind of, man. That's how you know you're freaking made it.
Spielberg.
Yeah, when you made it is when you're like, I'm going to reference all my other characters that made me millions and billions and billions of dollars, and we're going to make another movie based off of it.
A lot of 80s reference, absolutely. You have things like the Back to the Future DeLorean. You have Christine, Stephen King's Christine. You have Freddy Krueger.
Yes.
You have Gandalf. He's in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's just a slew of
Pole position.
Yeah.
Even video games. Pole position, Joust. The ostriches from Joust. When you kill them and they turn into the egg. That happens in that too. Just so many freaking references. One of Terrence's favorite animes, Akira. The bike from Akira actually makes an appearance in that movie. I thought it was a Tron cycle at first.
There's going to be so many that we won't. Yeah, at first I thought it was a Tron cycle, but there's probably going to be so many references that
in the movie that's not even in the trailer. This is only the first trailer.
Yeah. It's going to be appealing to various different, because you know what I may not have noticed, other people would be like, oh, that's so and so, because I really like that, and I think that's just going to appeal to various different people, and it's going to appeal to the younger generation, something different, exciting. I really like this because, as much as we were talking about comic book movies right now, something different, something refreshing, and another action movie that is not is not built off of already something that's already preset. It's something completely different.
And a video game movie after we saw Pixels.
Yeah, we're gonna ignore Pixels.
Hopefully, this is not a repeat of Pixels. At the same time, you can't even mistake Adam Sandler for Steven Spielberg. So no, I know Spielberg knows exactly what he's doing.
Spielberg directs an Adam Sandler film.
And then we're really screwed. Sandy Wexler, Back to the Future. All right, so. Sticking with the 80s vibe, and sticking actually with the Spielberg vibe. Back in the day, Spielberg actually did a show called Amazing Stories. Very, very Twilight Zone-ish type of show.
Oh, yeah.
Great show. And fast forward to now, Stranger Things is probably the closest thing to Amazing Stories that we've ever seen. There's a continuity factor in the movie, but regardless, the vibe of it is very 80, very Amazing Story-ish. Well, the season 2 of Stranger Things was also released at the Comic-Con, and that freaking series just looks awesome.
Yes. Growing up, Amazing Stories was something that you always look forward to. Oh, I can't wait, it's going to be on. You sat in front of your TV.
The dog episode, the cartoon dog episode, that was my favorite.
So this is another one. I have not had a chance to watch the full season, first season of Stranger Things. So I am going to spend some time tomorrow and just, try to veg out as much as possible before my wife tells me.
That was one show that I actually had to see. I got up to to episode like 11 of Luke Cage and I stopped. But Stranger Things, I made it a point that I had to see every single one. And I'm probably going to see it again just to get ready for season 2.
You will hate the sister. The sister got on my nerves.
Probably, but either way.
I hate the guy commenting in the back when he's...
That show is absolutely
ruining
awesome.
it for me.
Seeing the kids dressed as Ghostbusters was actually freaking priceless. That's pretty sweet for them to go back and have the Ghostbusters.
How many of us did not even pretend we were a Ghostbuster for?
Yeah, but they actually have the outfits, and of course, the little brother kid had to be freaking Winston Zedmore. How that works. So yeah, either way, can't wait.
That's all we had.
That's all you had.
Speaking of Ghostbusters, there's actually a report that Ivan Reitman might have a fourth, maybe an animated version, and maybe a live action version of Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters 4. It's a possibility they might CGI Egon and go to Peter Cushing Rogue One route. What do you think about that?
Oh, no. Please, no.
Harold Ramis is one of the freaking most comedic geniuses penning things like Caddyshack.
20 years ago, yes.
You can't touch Harold Ramis. Leave Harold Ramis alone. You can't. Egon is iconic. Just leave him alone.
Yes. The problem is... I still haven't even finished vomiting, the last Ghostbusters. Give it some time. Let's reboot it. I can't. The moment I hear Ghostbusters, I'm already thinking the atrocity that just came out.
Well, think about it some more, because it's a possibility also that the story arc might include the original characters and the characters from the rebooted.
Maybe maybe the original characters can salvage
joining forces.
Yes, can salvage something and
with the newer characters.
Yeah, make a nice pretty cake out of crap.
Cameos. They tried to.
Well, Bill Murray is somebody that is definitely probably going to be the one that's going to be the hardest to cast, for one. But you factor in the fact that they want to put in CGI Egon, who is one of his closest friends. It ain't going to happen. I do not see Ghostbusters 4 happening. Animated, maybe.
If they reboot it, I'd like to see it again. But give it some time. Give it some time, please.
Oh, man. All right, let's get to this. It was actually leaked Marvel's highly anticipated movie I can't even talk because it's so freaking awesome. Avengers Infinity War. Marvel released a trailer for this movie, and somebody, whoever it was out there, did a freaking awesome job recording it. Hit it very well. Hit it very well. They put that thing up. I saw it 3 times, and when I tried to see it the 4th time, it was gone. I texted it to Terrence to check it out. It was gone. Luckily, I have my ways, and I have it anyway. So either way, that thing is absolutely amazing. We start out with Thor floating in space, which takes us back to what we were talking about earlier as far as one of the scenes that could possibly take place in Thor 3 that links to Infinity War.
Yes.
He's floating in space. There's damage. There's debris. And he's hit by the ship that Star-Lord is the Alyssa Milano. He gets hit, and with that, and is brought aboard and meets the Guardians of the Galaxy. Mantis awakes him, and pretty much he takes him to the Avengers. And they pretty much get ready to do battle with Thanos, who is brought back, portrayed by Josh Brolin in great voice work. It's just freaking amazing. You could just tell it was Josh Brolin too. Thanos looks amazing. Missing the helmet, no helmet on Thanos.
Interesting.
And has the Infinity Gauntlet too.
Yeah, well, there's so much build up to this, and we just talked about it earlier. Years in the making, right? This is finally we're finally gonna get to see it. Regardless of what happens, droves of people are gonna be showing up. But just to know, 54 characters? 67, right?
And 67. And there are supposedly 30 in one scene.
Wow. So, if this is comic books, as you get, right? Because you would read the comic books, they'd have all these different heroes fighting. It was just expansive, right? You would be reading one magazine here, and then you would pick up another comic book over here, and it'd be their view or of what happened and their. And so it's all tied together. This is exactly what the movies are about. It's bringing all this together. I'm really excited when I saw Spider-Man with his little tingly. Oh, he's full bus. Boom! I was like,
the spider senses that Thanos was coming.
Yes, that was exciting. One of my greatest fears though is I hope it's not Tony Starked up. Enough of Tony Stark. I'd like to see more of other superheroes.
Well, Thanos pretty much knocks the Tony Stark out of Iron Man. Literally, he hits him so hard that he flies out of the suit, and he needs a Hulkbuster basically to help to fight him basically. And that was a pretty interesting scene there. Seeing Steve Rogers in going full nomad with the beard. That was pretty crazy.
That was pretty exciting to see little clips and pieces. My favorite was the opening scene.
When they hit Thor?
Yeah, when Thor's just floating in space.
And he's
it was just like, what? Like, now the universes are finally coming together. This world is here. This world is here. Boom, let's put it all together.
When you're breaking it down in all honesty, and you started from the beginning, it looks like Guardians of the Galaxy Part 3.
At first, I thought so. But I'm just crossing my fingers that maybe they're just teasing. Because they know we're all, chomping at the bits for more and more. So I'm hoping this first one is going to be this. Then later on, they're going to give us something else, and just little tidbits here and there.
Do you think it'll be too many jokes in this film? Because when you combine these properties that have all these properties have like a wisecracker. It's like you got Guardians with Star-Lord and Rocket, and then you're going to bring in,
Tony Stark.
Yeah, you're gonna bring in Tony Stark. You're gonna bring in Falcon. Even makes quips in Captain America
Civil War.
Yeah, the Captain America.
Go ahead and pet it.
Yeah, so it's like, you think it'll be too many jokes in Infinity War?
Right now, the way from the description is that it is going to be a little bit more serious. It's going to be a little bit darker, and judging from Chris Evans' appearance, I think that is probably right. Josh Brolin's the way he's approaching the character seems very intense.
Yes.
And some of the dialogue that he used in the trailer is just awesome. He's just really intimidating.
I think it would be a huge mistake if they put too much humor in this. I mean, this is the build-up. This is what
it's obviously going to have some.
It's going to have to have some,
but it is not going to be nowhere near what we're used to from Marvel. I don't think. Besides the Russos that were in charge of Winter Soldier and Civil War, I don't think they did it as bad. Especially Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier was.
I didn't think Winter Soldier was funny hardly at all.
Yeah, it had very few light moments. After that, it was, and if they execute it the same way, it should be done well, right? Yeah. Because Winter Soldier was the best example of very light humor. Occasionally, it would have here or there like something funny, but other than that, it was straight to the point, direct action movie.
Seeing Benedict Cumberbatch fighting Thanos, as he's Doctor Strange, is actually pretty freaking cool. I thought that was great.
Another person who makes jokes.
Barely. But
yeah, well, he had to be. There was no comic relief in the film, right?
Very true.
Spider-Man in his new Avengers suit was pretty freaking awesome. Also, right now, currently, this movie is budgeted. Its budget. This movie by itself. This is not including Avengers 4. This movie by itself is budgeted at $400 million.
Wow.
If what we always talk about as far as the marketing, we're probably looking at about maybe $700 million in budget. Easily going to make that back, I think. Possibly even if they open up in China as well in the same weekend and they don't split it like the way they did Force Awakens. I honestly believe if they do it the exact same way that Universal did with Jurassic World, this will freaking make that in the first weekend.
In the first weekend.
Worldwide.
I can definitely see that. If they don't space it out, I don't know why. There has to be a reason why. It's why they do it. But I don't understand why they space them out so much between countries. Because with media now, someone's going to leak it, someone's going to do this. It kind of loses the momentum. Something about opening one night across the world is exciting. I mean, we're already a world that's connected. Why not?
Absolutely, I agree 100% with that.
If they, my whole thing is that they just need to put Vin Diesel in a car, and then it'll make $1 billion.
Groot's in a ship.
Put Groot
in a ship.
It'll make $1 billion.
Well, he's got to say family too. Anyway.
Wait, is The Rock in this? Is Dwayne Johnson in this?
No, he's not. He's part of DC. He's part of DC. So I cannot freaking wait. Avengers. That was the biggest talk of the whole thing, and rightfully so. Absolutely epic. That's probably the best word to describe that trailer is epic. So, I mean, basically, it's because it's going to conclude everything, or close to anyway, at least this chapter of Phase 3. But absolutely intense, amazing movie. It was also DC announced that the Flash movie will actually be Flashpoint. Now there's rumors back and forth that this is how they're going to eliminate Ben Affleck, because there are things going on that Ben Affleck might not be back as Batman. Ben Affleck has squashed those rumors, saying that he is going to be Batman until Warner Brothers says that he is not going to be anymore.
Fucking part in any universe, DC, Marvel. I'm so thrilled to do it. I know there's a misconception because I didn't direct it that maybe I wasn't enthusiastic about it. It's fucking amazing. And I still can't believe that after 2 films, we have this history with this great studio, and Kevin Tsujihara and Sue Kroll and Toby Emmerich said to me, we want you to be our Batman, and I believe him. And with Matt Reeves doing it, it's like I would be a fucking ape on the ground for Matt Reeves. Never mind being Batman. It's incredible. So I'm really blown away and excited, and it's a great time in the DC universe. You're going to see some stuff from Justice League that we're really, really proud of, and I think you'll see why I'm so excited for Batman.
But
that's his way of saying, I'm going to keep doing this job till they kick me out. Oh, they kicked me out. It wasn't me. It was them.
If it is indeed Flashpoint, for those of you that have not ever seen Flashpoint, Barry Allen decides to go back in time to save his mom, and when he comes back, his mom is alive, but the entire reality is completely different.
It's a whole new universe.
Justice League does not exist. Bruce Wayne is dead. Thomas Wayne is Batman, and Martha Wayne is the Joker. So why did you say that name? So it's interesting concept if that happens, because
I wish not.
Going back to BVS, Walking Dead co-stars Jeffrey Dean Morgan and Lauren Colin. Anyway, they play Thomas and Martha Wayne in BVS. So somebody mentioned it during the Walking Dead panel, and they kind of looked at each other like, so it's a possibility that Jeffrey Dean Morgan will be Batman in Flashpoint. So curious to see how that plays out. Hopefully it's not an excuse to make Jeffrey Dean Morgan Batman and kick out Ben Affleck. Hopefully that's not
maybe they go, he does it, he realizes, you know what, I've messed the world up too much. I have to let my mother die.
Yeah,
and I go back,
and that's the
and then he comes back
with subtle changes. Possibly.
That, I can see that happening. I just hope it doesn't set it because, man, I love Christian Slater. Christian Slater.
I love Christian Slater. Gleaming the Cube.
Christian Bale. Gleaming the Cube is one of my all-time favorite movies. Don't ever talk bad about it. Christian Bale as Batman. For me, he was Batman, right? Somebody does the Batman voice immediately. And now it's Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck is Batman.
Yeah. So it's too soon. It's too soon to switch it to someone else.
Well, I don't know. Ask Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland. Anyway.
He goes to Flashpoint and fixes Suicide Squad.
Yeah, there you go. Please. Let us know.
and the fight between Batman and Superman would be completely different then too, right?
Oh, that would be freaking awesome. Either way, Alamo City Comic-Con. San Diego Comic-Con was absolutely amazing. One of these days, we're definitely going to be up there. We got to do the show from there. Just great stuff that came out of there. Fans were absolutely amazing there. And hopefully, we have our version, Alamo City Comic-Con. In truth, the fans do come out, it's just as good because we got some pretty great actors and actresses and personalities that come out.
So those of you that don't live here, or, locally here, come over and check out the Alamo City Comic-Con. It is just as good. So
this is not a sponsored ad.
I don't care. We love you anyway. All right, take us home.
Let us know what you thought about the San Diego Comic-Con. Tell us which is your favorite trailer that you saw, or if you saw any Easter eggs in there that we may not have spotted. Leave your comments. Don't forget to like us.
For Aspen and Terrence on the side here, I'm Manny.
I'm Art.
And we'll see you next time.
Save some money, pay 1 month of mortgage, and then cuss your ass off that whole
If you did that, I guarantee you he'd be like, all right.
Your ass off that whole.
Yeah.
I mean, no, not even like little cuss. I mean, like eat breakfast. Who the fuck are you?
You want me to eat